When it comes to extinction, building in rat holes is essential, which is why we proudly present our 1-man, 3-man, and 6-man rat holes with full base designs on Extinction. Coming at number 3, this can be found at 55.6 latitude and 41.9 longitude. Then there it is on the map. Now this can be found over in the middle of the city. Now simply look underneath this giant little platform thing, and fun fact, there's a rat hole right next to you as well. This one is just very hidden. I didn't even know that this thing was here. So yeah, come down here into this little entrance, and as you can see, as long as you go straight up, it opens up into a pretty decently sized room. It's nothing too wild, like it's not a massive room, but if you can figure out how to build this thing properly, I mean, it will make for a pretty overpowered spot. Now you do have a full water breeding area, and that is a lot of water to work with as well. But yeah, up here it does kind of keep going. Again, the rooms aren't like crazy big unless there's like a tiny little one that I might have missed, but yeah, it's a very awkward kind of styled rat hole. So if you can figure out how to build in here, it will make for a pretty good base and a very, very hidden one as well. This video is sponsored by Mitra 9. Mitra 9 is a kava and kratom seltzer company which provides an alternative to alcohol. These drinks give you a high but without the impairment. They have a ton of great flavors, my favorite being tropical. Simply go to mitra9.com and use my code Outcasts and you will get 25% off your entire order. If you're looking for a great alternative to coffee or just a way to get you going in the morning, Mitra is definitely the way to go. Now, back to the video. Now here is the full base design. Now if you're a 1-man, you don't really want anything really showing you off to really let people know that you're here, so I decided to keep everything on the interior of this little area. So upon entering, you have all of your main turrets here, the majority tech, a couple heavies, then you have a nice little tiny little just turret wall right there. But yeah, it's nothing too crazy, but again, if you're a 1-man, you're not going to be building anything too crazy. So yeah, this is just a nice little base just to keep people out and make sure that you're able to just kind of thrive. Now coming inside of here, you have your indie forge immediately there, a tinker desk, a nice little cryo wall, as well as your cooker, and then a refrigerator right there, and then you got your indie grill as well. Now you got 4 fabricators, your indie forge, 2 chem benches, and then 2 smithies, as well as a full vault wall which is right above it. That can be built using the ceilings. Then you have a deady storage and then a nice little false wall which brings you back here into your little back room. Just some extra storage, and then there's your main tech generator right there as well. So yeah, nothing too crazy, but it is able to fit a good amount of stuff for this first room. Now coming up here, you do need ladders, and then you have to build everything off of these pillars right here to build up any higher. You got your makeshift mega lab, some cryo fridges, some regular refrigerators, as well as a full air conditioning and hatching and raising area right here. It's nothing too crazy, but again, you're a solo, you're not going to need too much room. So yeah, coming up here is our third layer, but first is this tiny little room. I'm really not sure what to do with it, so I went ahead and just kind of showed this off. Just you can't really fit in here, that's the other problem, so I just kind of left everything out of here, but it is a pretty decently sized room. Now up here is your third layer. This can be accessed, of course, by building some foundations and then maybe some more pillars. But this has your replicator, you know, indie grinder, and then just a bunch of more vaults. So yeah, overall, it is a nice little base for a solo. Coming at number 2, this can be found at 4.2 latitude and 31.1 longitude. And then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over here in the Wasteland, over here in like the little purple kind of area next to the Arctic region. It's a little bit confusing to find, but just look for that giant beacon right there. Now, as you can see with this entrance right here, I'm able to place a couple of the just foundations down right there, but you cannot fit a cliff platform, which I've already tested. It's kind of a pain, so everything has to strictly be built inside. That's going to be an absolute pain to figure that out. Anyways, here's your little entrance. Now it does kind of go up pretty high up, which means we're probably going to put our turret wall right about here. But yeah, this location overall has the most room out of all of the other. Actually, no, it doesn't. Number 1 does have a little bit more. This one is just a little bit more awkward, if that makes sense, because you are not able to really place as much, but you still do have a lot of room. I mean, look at all this room to work with. You're just gonna have to build on inclines, which does make this thing kind of a pain to work with. So yeah, let's see what we can do. Now here is the full base design. So yeah, like I said, you can't put any cliff platforms out here, which does really make this thing kind of suck, but you are able to just spam turrets. So I just went ahead and spammed turrets, but made it where it's still kind of hidden, so that players really can't see you, so I only built on that back wall. Now coming up in here, you only have about 3 or 4 turrets, and then here is your main turret wall. Now as you guys can see, you can't see the main turret wall yet, which actually will make this thing a lot more powerful, because you have a lot of ground turrets that they have to deal with first, then your main turret wall. Now the turret wall, yes, it's not really the strongest, but there's no cave damage in here, meaning overall, it's still a pretty strong base. Now upon entering, you got your cryo fridge, a refrigerator, a nice little vault wall, as well as a deady storage over there in the corner. Got some more vaults, and then your 2 smithies right there. There's your little deady wall, you know, nothing too crazy. Now back here, I hid a little grinder and then a bed. Over here, you got your 2 replicators, a nice little deady floor. Yes, I suck at making deady floors. I'll be better at it next time. Anyways, we got chem benches over here, as well as your fabricators. Got a nice little library storage for all of your blueprints for crafting, as well as another little vault wall right there. Now down here you got your main tech generator. Now this powers literally everything, as well as another little vault wall. You got your cooker, your grill, industrial preserving bin, a nice little refrigerator wall, as well as some beer barrels. Down here you got your little transmitter and then your teleporter. I could not think of that. You got your makeshift mega lab, tinker desk, you know, all that new stuff. Nice little cryo wall, as well as a full vault wall, which it is a pretty big vault wall. Now you do have a bigger Dedi storage down here, as well as another cryo wall, and then you have your beds out there in the back. Now coming down here to your other layer, this is your hatching and just raising area. Absolutely massive. You got your air conditioners there, everything that you'll ever need. Overall, it's not a bad base at all. Now coming at number 1, this can be found at 22.5 latitude and 8.7 longitude, and then here it is on the map. Now this can be found over in the Sunken Forest. Now this rat hole is honestly one of the best ones on our last list. This is basically it's like a sequel to our unseen rat hole video that we just did. Just this one is for a 6-man. So as you can see, here's your entrance. It is a very nice little kind of like slit entrance. You can't really fit any dinos in there. Maybe a PT, maybe a snow owl, but nothing too crazy. Now here is, you know, this first little room. Now the first room is kind of okay. Just the biggest downside is that this is considered water. So this entire area is water, which does kind of suck. So we're probably not going to be building in this first room at all. Now down here is where the room really opens up. So as you guys can see, there's a little water glitch over there, but this is your kind of main room. I mean, this entire thing is all one giant room. It looks smaller than it really is. This thing is absolutely massive, so we can fit literally everything that we're ever going to need in here. It's just going to be an absolute pain to try to build. So yeah, let's see what we can come up with. Hopefully I can fill up all of this room. Now here is the full base design. So I went ahead and used a cliff platform on the exterior, and this is just absolutely covered with tech turrets. Now, it's really hard to figure out how to defend this entrance, so I just did this because, you know, the cliff platform chandelier method usually is a pretty powerful option because you don't really have any room to build any kind of turret walls in here or really anything. Now you do have a couple little spam turrets in here, and then this is your first room. Now what I would highly recommend doing is building this first room into like a false base, meaning it's going to trick a lot of people into just thinking, oh well, that's his main base, you know, that's it, kind of sucks. And then they're not even going to know that your main base is down here. Now here's your first layer, second layer, all this room to really do whatever you want with. You can fit up to probably 10 layers in here. Now here is your main base area. Now I decided to put everything on one layer just to kind of consolidate everything down. You got your replicators here, a couple little Dedi walls, as well as a grinder, and then you got 2 vaults and then your makeshift mega lab. Over here you got your 6 indie forges. Yes, 6 indie forges. It is quite a bit, but you're probably going to need it when you're a big tribe. Got your beds, nice little teleporter, as well as 8 fabricators and then 8 chem benches, 3 smithies, your tech transmitter right there, as well as a giant vault wall. Now this vault wall is basically all that you're ever going to need. You shouldn't need any more storage, but if you do, you can build on one of your other 10 layers. Back in here you got your refrigerators, your indie preserving bin, tinker desk, embryo chamber, embryo gene, I believe. You got your cooker, your grill, all that good stuff. Now down here on your other layer, this is your full hatching layer. But yeah, anyways, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to leave a like if you're new and hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.